latest political instability and crisis engulfing Sudan since Saturday morning between the major military bloc of the Sudanese Military and the Rapid Response Force caused for serious concern to many African countries, and Nigeria particularly. Nigeria has over 5 million of its citizens living and studying in Sudan and cannot afford a major political breakdown or civil war in Sudan, as this might lead to a major humanitarian crisis that could explode the entire Sahel region. Many West African states are still battling with the aftermath effects of the 2011 civil war in Libya that has opened the whole Sahel region for the battle for dominance between nation-states and fundamentalist militants within the past 12 years. Rival generous forces clashed on the third day in the capital and other parts of Sudan, forcing millions of citizens to flee their homes, while doctors and hospitals are left with growing casualties. According to the Central Committee of Sudanese Doctors, the death toll from the first 2 days of fighting has risen to 97, with approximately 1,000 injured. But with conflict reported across the huge nation, the actual toll is unknown. The violence has left many of Khartoum's 5 million citizens stranded at home without electricity or water. The crisis, which started on Saturday, pitted a paramilitary force known as the Rapid Support Forces against the Sudanese army, escalating a long-running feud between Sudan's two senior generals, Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, the head of the RSF group. Nigeria, as a state, has had its fair share of instability within the West African region and the entire Sahel, as it has been battling with Boko Haram and ISWAP fundamentalists who recruit, train, and have free access to weapons from the troubled states within the region. With bordering states like Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, the Niger Republic, and Cameroon already almost overrun by militias and Janjaweed jihadists, a complete collapse of the state institutions in Sudan will impair the already fragile region. Many foreign coalition forces have in recent years failed to achieve reasonable gains through their kinetic operations, like Operation Barkhane, launched by France with over 5,000 service personnel. The operation has been largely suspended after it failed to meet its core objective of eradicating jihadists over the years. Nigeria, through its position in the AU and as a leading member of ECOWAS, must champion a more robust Afrocentric approach, both kinetic and non-kinetic, to find a political situation to resolve the impending and imminent threat posed by the possible all-out political instability in Sudan. With just a 2,390-kilometer distance between Sudan and Nigeria, Nigeria needs to safeguard her national sovereignty and sustain permanent gains against Boko Haram and ISWAP, who have over the years continued to mitigate and spread crimes and criminalities toward the southern part of the country. The government's policy and security framework needs to change to avert more gains made by the insurgents in recent years. President Muhammadu Buhari has called for a ceasefire in Sudan following the fights that broke out in the country's capital, Khartoum, between the military and paramilitary. Garba Shehu, the presidential spokesperson, made this known in a press release on Sunday, describing the fights between the two rival generals that have claimed lives as unfortunate. The transitional president of Chad, General Mahamat Idris Deby Itno, and Buhari reviewed the incident as they called on all neighboring countries and the international community to prevail on the warring sides to stop fighting and negotiate. As a nation that in the past led a military coalition of ECOMOG to restore peace and democratic rule in several African countries, it will be imperative to design and sustain geo-regional security frameworks that are more efficient than the existing ones, like the Multinational Joint Task Force that was launched by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015.